In the time we have, I think I'll be focusing on just some few broad themes. The detail of our work I'm happy to cover in questions. As I was introduced, I'm part of the walking and cycling branch in the Department of Infrastructure. We've had plenty of policy advisors and planners over the decades focusing on cars and public transport, buses, trains and trams. There hasn't been much attention given to walking and cycling as modes of transport. So I think it's an important shift that the government has now taken to create a dedicated branch to these modes, and we work across the transport portfolio and across government and with local government on the work that we do. Just sort of giving something which is probably very familiar to a lot of people. We have about more than 50,000 people moving to Melbourne each year. We're still a very highly car-dependent city and will remain that way if we don't make significant changes to the way we travel. Each of those extra 50,000 people a year will add to the congestion that we're already experiencing because most of our travel is still done by car. This graph shows the typical weekday travel across Melbourne, and it shows quite clearly that most of our travel, 40% of it, is actually less than 2 kilometres, and a good portion is less than 5 kilometres. Even at those relatively short distances, we still are very car dependent. It could be seen as a fairly depressing statistic, but I see it as a great opportunity for change. I think we can shift, and we're already shifting a large portion of that travel to walking and cycling in less than 2 kilometres. If you're looking at the inner city, which is probably a little better served, to put it mildly, for walking and cycling. In the census, between the census periods 2001 and 2006, we've seen actually a 100% increase in the people riding to work. A much larger proportion of people walking to work. So a great opportunity for change to shift car trips to walking and cycling trips, and for the longer distances to add in public transport for how we travel. But how do we go about this? It's not just about infrastructure. This graph, why have I chosen this? It's telling us the change in travel to school over the last 30 years. Slightly outdated statistics, but unfortunately they still remain fairly current, showing that over that time there's been a massive reduction in the number of children walking to school. So it's not just about a lack of footpaths, though that's definitely an issue in many places. It's about psychological and cultural concerns that also influence our travel behaviour. For school travel, it's about concerns about road safety and personal safety, and now cultural norms that we have about children being supervised, which really reinforces the demand to drive children to school. And then this negative feedback of increasing traffic congestion. So our programs of Travel Smart help to address these barriers and to support a change to sustainable transport modes. It's not just about how we feel about things, it is also about our urban environment. This could be anywhere in Melbourne, and I think we all probably clearly recognise that it should be reversed. It should be, people have priority in this space. So we also have another program, a local area access program, which is about giving better local connections so that people can travel more easily. Particularly we're focusing on short trips to activity centres, and they're projects that are demonstration projects that we test innovations so that we hope to be able to apply them at a broad scale. More detail later. Thank you.